Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to this brand new series on virology. Today I will try to introduce you with virology. So, what is virology? Virology is the study of viruses. That's why introducing you with virology literally means to introduce you with viruses. In today's video, I will be discussing what are viruses, what constitutes a virus, that is the structure of a virus, and how many types of viruses are there, that is the classification of viruses. So, now without further delay, let's get started. What are viruses? Viruses are the smallest infectious agents ranging from 20 nanometer to 300 nanometer in diameter. On the other hand, most of the bacteria are larger. The smallest bacteria is Mycoplasma, which can be as small as 300 nanometer in diameter. Viruses are made of mainly protein and nucleic acid, but some viruses contain lipid in the form of an envelope. There are no ribosomes, no mitochondria. As a result, viruses cannot synthesize proteins or generate energy on their own, but they can synthesize proteins inside the host cell and can only reproduce inside host cell by using the energy from the host cell. For this reason, they are obligate intracellular parasites. Most of the bacteria are free living. Only two of them are obligate intracellular. They are Rickettsia and Chlamydia. Most viruses do not contain any enzymes, but some of them contain some enzymes, like DNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase, etc. These enzymes mainly help the virus to replicate its genome. So, we have already seen that three bacteria, namely Mycoplasma, Rickettsia, and Chlamydia, share some of their characteristics with viruses. Like the Mycoplasma is similar with viruses in respect of size, and Rickettsia, Chlamydia both are obligate intracellular like the viruses. So the question comes that how will we differentiate these bacteria from viruses? The main difference is viruses are acellular, that is, they are not cells, but bacteria, they are cells. So, what is the difference between acellular virus and cells? The main difference lies inside their nucleic acid composition and their ribosomes. In cells, there are both DNA and RNA, but viruses contain only one type of nucleic acid. It may be either DNA or it may be RNA. And cells must contain a ribosome. But we already have seen that viruses do not contain any ribosome. Now come to the structure of a virus. Viruses are mainly protein-coated packages that contain a nucleic acid inside it. It either may be DNA or it may be RNA. This protein coat is called capsid. Capsids are made of repeating subunits. These subunits are called capsomere or capsomer. Capsid and nucleic acid are collectively known as nucleocapsid. All viruses have a nucleocapsid, but some have an outer covering of lipoprotein called the envelope. Together, these components make a complete virus particle which is known as a virion. Here you can see the structure of a virus, first without an envelope and then with an envelope. Here you can see nucleic acid and capsid together make nucleocapsid. And these are the subunits of capsid known as capsomer or capsomere. As the capsid is made of repeating subunits, arrangement of these subunits results in symmetry. So now let's talk about symmetry of viral capsid. Three types of symmetry are observed in viral capsids: icosahedral, helical, and complex. In icosahedral symmetry, the capsomeres are arranged to make an icosahedron. The icosahedron has 20 faces and each face is a triangle. To make a triangle, you need at least 3 subunits. So to make the whole icosahedron, you need 20 times 3, that is total 60 capsomeres. Examples of icosahedral symmetry are poliovirus, hepatitis A, B, C virus, human papillomavirus, HIV, etc. In helical symmetry, the capsomeres surround the nucleic acid in a spiral pattern, like a staircase. Examples of helical symmetry include influenza virus, coronavirus, rabies virus, measles virus, mumps virus, etc. Interesting fact is, all helical viruses are surrounded by an envelope. Now comes the third, complex symmetry. Examples include bacteriophage and pox virus. Viral proteins. There are 5 types of viral proteins. First of them is structural protein. These are the protein subunits of the capsid. Then non-structural proteins. These are the enzymes we talked about earlier, like DNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase, etc. These 2 types of proteins are present in all viruses. But if the virus is enveloped, then it contains some extra proteins, like some proteins in the envelope known as envelope protein. There is a structure between the envelope and the capsid called the tegument. It contains matrix proteins and regulatory proteins. Matrix proteins mediate the interaction between the capsid proteins and the envelope proteins. Regulatory proteins include transcription factors and translation factors. Not all viruses contain regulatory protein. Only some viruses have them. Here you can see that between the envelope and the capsid there is the viral tegument, and the tegument is composed of matrix protein and regulatory proteins. Now envelope. As I said earlier, some viruses have an outer lipoprotein covering called the envelope. We all know that lipoproteins have a lipid part and a protein part. The protein part of viral envelope is encoded by the viral genome. On the contrary, the lipid part is derived from the host cell. It can be from the host cell membrane, or the nuclear membrane, or the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum, or the Golgi apparatus. Envelope viruses get their envelope during their release by a process called budding. Here you can see the budding process. This is the host cell membrane, and these are the viral proteins known as envelope proteins. Let's see some examples. Influenza virus, measles virus, rabies virus, HIV, they acquire their envelope from the cell membrane, that is the plasma membrane. Dengue, hepatitis B and C virus, coronavirus, they get their envelope from the endoplasmic reticulum. Herpes viruses get a temporary envelope from the nuclear membrane, but it is lost immediately, and then finally the virus gets its envelope from the Golgi apparatus. Here you can see the release of herpes virus. The virus first buds at the nuclear membrane and gets a primary envelope, but it is lost upon exiting the outer membrane. Then it buds again at the Golgi apparatus and acquires its secondary and final envelope. Now come to the classification of viruses. Viruses are classified according to the type of nucleic acid, presence of an envelope, and capsid symmetry. According to the type of nucleic acid, viruses can be DNA viruses or RNA viruses. In both cases, they can be either single-stranded or double-stranded. According to envelope, viruses can be enveloped or naked. Important fact: enveloped viruses are more sensitive to disinfection techniques like soap, detergent, heat, etc. than naked viruses. When viruses infect a cell, it has to enter into the cell, and this entry process requires receptors on the surface of the host cell. Some of the viral surface proteins bind with these host cell receptors and mediate the entry process. These surface proteins may be either capsid proteins in case of naked viruses, and they are envelope proteins in case of enveloped viruses. If the envelope of an enveloped virus is destroyed, it will lose its receptor binding proteins and will no longer remain infective. As lipids are more susceptible to heat, detergents, and drying, envelopes are easily destroyed by disinfection techniques like soap, detergent, heating, drying. That's why enveloped viruses cannot survive in the environment for long periods, and thus they are transmitted only by close contact, like direct person to person contact, blood transfusion, and sexual contact. On the other hand, naked viruses can survive in the environment for long periods. Thus, they can be transmitted by means other than close contact like the fecal route. Lastly, according to capsid symmetry, viruses can be icosahedral, helical, or complex. Now I am going to show you the classification of medically important viruses. At first, DNA viruses. Here you can see DNA viruses can be either double-stranded DNA viruses or single-stranded DNA viruses. Only one single-stranded DNA virus is there, that is parvovirus, and it is naked. In double-stranded DNA viruses, there are naked viruses and enveloped viruses. Here all the viruses have icosahedral symmetry, annotated in red. Only the pox virus has complex symmetry. Here some important viruses I would like to mention is in HepaDNA virus is hepatitis B virus. In papilloma virus there is human papilloma virus. In herpes virus there is our chickenpox virus, that is varicella zoster virus, Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, etc. Now RNA viruses. They also can be single-stranded or double-stranded. There is only one family of double-stranded RNA virus, that is the reovirus, which has no envelope and possesses icosahedral symmetry. Example of reovirus is rotavirus, which causes diarrhea. Among single-stranded RNA viruses, here you can see plus and minus. So what does this plus and minus mean? Let's review some biochemistry. We know that mRNA is made from DNA by the process of transcription. In transcription, one strand of the DNA acts as the template and RNA polymerase reads the template and makes mRNA complementary to it. As a result, the resulting mRNA becomes similar to the opposite strand. This opposite strand is known as sense strand and the template strand is known as antisense. So we can say that the mRNA and this strand have the same sense. That's why it is called the sense strand. And when a strand possesses the same sense as its mRNA, it is called plus strand. And the other one which is not the same sense, that is antisense, it is called minus strand. So to summarize, complementary to mRNA means minus strand and similar to mRNA means plus strand. In case of DNA, it has both the plus and minus strand. But in RNA, it can be either plus or minus. The plus strand is also called positive polarity and minus strand is negative polarity. Now come back to the classification. In single-stranded RNA viruses, there are positive polarity viruses and negative polarity RNA viruses. Here you can see all the negative polarity viruses are enveloped and have helical symmetry. In positive polarity RNA viruses, there are naked and enveloped ones. All of them have icosahedral symmetry except coronavirus, which have helical symmetry. In calicivirus, there is norovirus, which causes diarrhea. In Hepivirus family, there is hepatitis E virus. In picoRNA virus family, there is poliovirus, hepatitis A virus. Then you all know coronavirus. In Flavivirus family, there is dengue, hepatitis C virus. In retrovirus family, there is HIV. In togavirus family, there is rubella virus. In filovirus family, there is Ebola virus. In orthomyxovirus family, there is influenza virus. In paramyxovirus family, there is measles virus and mumps virus. And finally, in rhabdovirus family, there is rabies virus. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.